Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to hopefully enlighten some of you on a common question that I have. And this is actually kind of a complex question, and I have to answer it all the time, and sometimes people just don't quite get it because there's so much involved. And that question is, how do you go from clay to bronze? And that's actually a lot more complex than you think, because of what we call the lost wax process. So today I'm going to be talking about this material that I just had arrive in the mail. Some of you have probably seen my video where I sculpt the Fibonacci fox and then unbox it, where it's in bronze. Jason the World Traveler helped me with that because I sent him the wax foxes, and then he did the casting process where he created metal foxes using my wax sculptures, which I created from my clay fox. If that isn't confusing, then I don't know what is, but some of you may be familiar with the lost wax process, or investment casting, I believe it is also called. So anyway, I'm going to be talking about this stuff, microcrystalline wax. And after that, I'm probably going to be putting out a video next week where I compare wax to clay, and then talk about the differences, because you don't want to get those two mixed up. They're both used for different things, and you certainly don't want to get them switched around as substitutes if you are casting, because then you can ruin your whole project, and no one wants that to happen. So this right here is the microcrystalline wax, and it's just kind of like a hard big block of wax, I guess you could say. This is the 2-AB150 is what it's called. And usually it's melted down and then poured in the mold. And the mold is what I take from the actual clay sculpture. Let's pretend this is the fox. This isn't the actual fox. It's kind of like a replica. His head's all smashed in. But let's pretend this is like the finished Fibonacci fox. What I would do is I would cover it in rubber, and then I would pour a plaster shell around that, and then take the shell off, take the rubber off, put those two back together, melt this, pour this in the rubber, and dump. And I think I'm going to be putting out a video on that too. That'll make things a lot easier to understand. There's a link down below to my website where I'll put all of these videos together, and then I'll explain them a little bit, just that way, if you're interested, you can go through and watch the whole process and all the different steps, and then you can understand why we use this microcrystalline wax. You can also use this for sculpting, and that's a trick that I've used for a long time. I don't share that with everyone, but it can be really handy if you know how to work with this stuff. It's not easy to work with though, and as Jason says, he says, man, you got to make peace with it, because it takes some serious patience and some skill working with wax. Because what we call wax chasing is when I pull the wax fox out of this mold, I have to touch up all the details on it. I got to fill all the air bubbles, and I need to make sure the surface is the texture and consistency I want it, because Jason told me, he's like, man, you have to make sure every little detail is exactly how you want it, because it'll be that exact way when it's in metal. And once it's in bronze, it's a lot harder to change. So that'll be another video coming up. That's sort of like the missing link in our series of videos where I sculpt the fox and then he casts the fox. So back to that original question, how do you go from clay to bronze? Well, this is how you do that. You take your mold, and then you use that mold to duplicate the sculpture in a wax. Then you use that wax to form a shell around it. And yeah, you understand that from there it's just all about the casting. So hopefully I'm not confusing anyone. If you just want to learn about the wax, which is the title of this video, then I will tell you that this is the stuff that Jason recommended, the microcrystalline wax. This is from Arizona Sculpture. You can also get it from Sculpture Depot, Sculpture House. I'll have a few different links in the description. Whatever wax you choose, if it's for casting purposes, be sure that you know what wax is needed, and be sure you get the exact type of wax because it'll behave a little bit differently. There's tons of different options. There's red wax, brown wax, there's stuff that looks like candle wax, and then, you know, we're not going to use any of that, but be sure that you know exactly what kind of wax is needed if you're going to do the wax chasing yourself, which is pouring it in a mold and using that to cast in metal. So anyway, I know it's hard to explain, but next week I should have that video out where I compare wax to clay. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet, because I will be putting out more videos like I promised. I've been very busy, especially with the summer rolling around. I manage a business that's in the tourism industry, and you can imagine I'm going to be busier this time of year. But I will try to put some more videos out consistently if I can. If I miss a week, don't worry, I'll be back. I won't be vanishing from YouTube anytime soon. But I hope this kind of enlightens you a little bit today. I recommend that you come back and watch the video next week, and then the video after that where I actually show how I use this stuff by heating it up where it turns to like a hot liquid, and then I pour it in my mold and then chase the wax. I have a few other videos out there which shows like working with this stuff, but it's not as in-depth as that. So hope this helped you guys out a little bit today, and hope this enlightened people on how we go from clay to metal. Thanks for watching though. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and hit that subscribe button. That's it for now. I will see you all next week.